Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome. I am so thrilled to be here with you today for this lockdown lifesaver. This is another lockdown lifesaver for you, brought to you by Eden Method. Let me just begin with saying welcome to all of you that are out there and wherever you may be in this world at this point in time. I'm going to start with my introduction, letting you know who I am and where I'm coming from. My name is Janel Volk Hubbard, and I am coming to you live from my home in Chagrin Falls, Ohio. And that's a little village within Cleveland, Ohio area. And my husband and I have been in lockdown now going on to our third week. And both of us are healthy. I'm very grateful to say that both of us are healthy and that our families in our area are healthy. And I wish the same for all of you, wherever you may be. And one of the things that I've been enjoying doing in some of my time, I've been working very hard, still doing my work and all of that, but working from home, I've had the opportunity to work in my garden and greet spring a little bit. Spring got kind of brought in, didn't it? And fall, for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere, came in without the usual hurrah and the usual attention that it usually gets. So I've had opportunity to work in my garden, and I planted some seeds. I'm looking out the window a little bit at my garden in the back there for vegetable seeds. And I've been also very excited to watch the daffodils come up and seeing that kind of thing, seeing like the nature and the flowers coming into bloom gives me solace and gives me a sense of stability and what's normal, gives me a sense of stability at a time when there's such fluctuation and change in the world right now. So, and I also want to put a thank you out there to all the essential workers who are working out there, whether you're doing deliveries, whether you're working in a grocery store, whether you're working in the healthcare industry. And thank you for helping keep some rhythm going in our world today. I'm going to send gratitude for all of you. On a personal note, I just want to say that my son, I know about this a little bit firsthand. I'm sure we all have people that are in the healthcare industry, but I have a son who's an emergency room physician, and he's been in contact with people during this time, throughout the time. So, and I pray for him, pray for all the people that are doing those kinds of roles. Like I said, whether you're a checkout person at a store, whether you're in a healthcare center, just blessings. So thank you. So I want to begin by saying that the Eden Method has brought these to you because we want to bring some Eden tools to you, Eden Method tools to you that can help harmonize and bring your energies kind of into balance, make them hum, so to speak. I like that word, make them hum. During a time of profound change, during a time when none of us have lived through this type of an experience. So that's why we're here today. I'm going to go over a variety of skills with you that I have found very helpful. I found helpful personally, and also I have a private practice here. I didn't tell you a little bit more about myself on that end of things. I am in private practice. I'm an advanced Eden energy medicine practitioner. I am an Eden Method teacher for foundations and in level 2 and level 3 and level 4. And I am also the class administrator for level 3. So you can tell that I love this stuff. I live this stuff. It's really part of who I am, and I'm grateful. And especially during a time like this, I'm grateful to be able to share what I know and hope that it can be a little bit helpful for all of you. All right, so let's begin. I want to begin by saying, and I think you probably all can relate to this, that the ground underneath us is no longer the same ground that we're used to. Right? It's shifting as we speak. Every day it shifts. And on some respects, that's literal. And in some respects, that's energetic. But we all experience it. We may feel like we're upside down. We may feel like the world's upside down. What used to be the infrastructure, so to speak, of our country, the infrastructures of the world are all shifting. The economics, the politics, the healthcare, everything is kind of in flux. So with that shifting and movement, I also want to make note of the season that we're in. We just began spring here in the Northern Hemisphere. In the Southern Hemisphere, they just began fall. And when there's transition in seasons, earth rhythm, which is part of a rhythm that's described in traditional Chinese medicine as one of the 5 elements or the 5 rhythms. So earth rhythm is about transition. Springtime is itself Earth, but any change that we have in the seasons is about transition. And I would say that we are in a global transitory time. Earth rhythm is going to play a role there. In Eden method, we talk about Earth rhythm. We talk about being grounded and connected to the Earth. That is so essential. We talk about being connected and grounded and connected to the sky as well. But what we're going to talk a little bit about, because I've been finding this as kind of a common experience that people are having at this time. And you might have heard a little bit about this from other teachers along the way that have talked about this too. But it felt so important to me. It feels so foundational to me that I'm going over it again with you. One of the main energy principles that I want to start with, energy needs space to move. When we get stressed, we tighten, we constrict, everything doesn't seem to flow as well. So what I want to start with today, we're going to build on a few things. I kind of have 3 phases that I want to take you through today. So the first phase, why I say that is because I realize that we are all somewhat in a state of overwhelm and in a state of being full, right? You can't take in anymore. It's like too much to process. So what I share with you may feel like too much, but I want you to know, no need to be overwhelmed. This is going to be on recording, reminding you this can be on recording, and that you can come back and press pause. Just like the universe is asking us to do right now is press pause. You can press pause and take in phase 1, take in phase 2, take in phase 3. I kind of have it divided into 3 little sections. All right, so our first section is about making space and about grounding. So in order to make space, we have to have our hands open, we have to have our feet open, and we have to have our head open. By that, I mean open in the regard that it can take in energy and it can release energy. We want to be fed by the energies around us in a good way, and we want to be releasing the heavy energies that we no longer need to carry in our body. So we're going to start with opening up our feet. So you can see, I think you can see my foot there. You're going to take your foot. If you're sitting there with me, please take your foot. If you have a sock or a shoe on, please feel free to take your sock and shoe off. What we're going to do is we're going to open the spaces between the bones in our feet. So you're going to be rubbing your hands, if you can watch my hands, in between the feet and opening them up. And as you're doing this, I want you to take just a moment. Take a breath. Let's all take a breath together. And take a moment to just sense or just put out there, what is it that may be stuck and jammed up in your feet? Whether that's fear, whether that's anxiety, whether that's physical pain, whether that's, it could be anything at all. It could be a thought process, it could be anything. All of that is energy. So just keep rubbing the feet. And then on the bottom of your foot, there's a spot right here. Right on the ball of the foot. That's the first point of the kidney meridian. And meridians are energy pathways that flow through our body, kind of like the blood flows through our body through our vessels, kind of like the nervous system flows through our body through the nervous channels. We have energy channels just like that. And this is one of them that is very essential. I'm going to be pointing out to you essential skills that we need for Eden method right now, just like we have essential workers, we have essential skills. Those are skills that are really needed to be bolstered and built up during this time. They may be working really well for you and balanced. We might just need to bring them in balance, but we also just need to boost them and give them lots of good energy and support them. There are essential workers. Grounding is an essential skill for right now, and polarity is essential skill, which I'm going to explain in just a moment. So we got this K1 open. The other point on our foot that we really want to pay attention to is the heel. Okay, so we have the heel of the foot here. And the heel is like a shock absorber. All this change happening so fast is somewhat shocking for our bodies and for our energy fields. So you want to press in deeply on that point. You want to rub that point. When we go into shock, it's not the kind of medical shock that some of you may be thinking of. It could be a chronic, over a period of time kind of a shock. Metabolism doesn't happen as well. We don't metabolize things within us, and we get clogged up. The sugar that helps us run, the glucose that helps us run doesn't get to flow. We don't get as much oxygen. So we want to make sure we're working this little shock point. So we're going to do the same thing on this foot. And I may do this side a little bit quicker, but just remember that you can go back and do these things later. Okay, while we're here, keep opening up the foot, the spaces between the foot, and take a moment on this foot to think about any fear that you may have that you're releasing, any worry, any lack of trust. You know that we don't feel our feet on the ground in the same way. So we're opening up K1, we're pressing over that heel. Now while we're here on the feet, we're going to do these two things together. We're going to grab a spoon. If you don't have a spoon, no worries. You can get it later and you can do it later. But we're going to definitely spoon our feet. There's something called polarity. Polarity is around us being electrical beings. We are electric. Our body is electric. Every single cell in your body has a positive and negative charge. So when you think of a battery in a flashlight, and you put that battery in upside down, the positive is on top of the positive instead of the other way around, it's not going to work. That happens for us too. Even though we as humans are much more complicated than a battery in a flashlight, that does happen for us, where our energies become reversed, or where the positive isn't where it needs to be. So in that situation, if that's true, we don't absorb the energies that we have available to us to run off of, to be plugged into, and we can feel more depleted more easily than usual. So the bottoms of your feet should have a south polarity, while the earth itself has a north polarity, so a positive and a negative sign. Using this spoon can help reset. This is a tool to reset your polarity, your positive and negative charges in every single cell of your body. Think about the blood cells. They have hemoglobin and iron in it. They have all kinds of metal, minerals and things with positive and negative charges. So we're going to use this and just going to spoon over your feet. You can do it this direction. You can do it in figure 8 directions. You can do it on your heel. You can even do it on the top of the foot where we were making space before around your heel. But you want to do both feet. And this is an essential skill, doing your grounding, doing this polarity on spooning your feet and opening up your feet. All right, so there's our spoon for the day. Next, we are going to go to opening up our hands. Remember, we talked about energy needs to move. So we want to move that worry, that anxiety all out. You're going to be just pulling between the bones in your hands, on both hands, pulling it out, and shake it off. Let's do it for each finger too. Think about how much we're using the computer and how much we're typing and how much we're using these hands for, how much electromagnetic energies get in there. We want to make space so that we can move out the energies that are no longer helpful to us, and so we can bring in and receive the energies that are. Next, we're going to do the crown pull for the same reasons. You're going to push in at your forehead, and this helps open up space. When we're doing the crown pull, there's cranial bones here, and it helps to open those bones and make space for energy to move. When we're thinking a lot or worrying a lot, things get clogged up in our heads, and we want to make sure we open that space up. So we're just preparing. We're kind of doing a prep right here. All right. So now we've got the crown pull done. All right. And we've spooned our feet. Next comes just the element of natural grounding. When we are in a relaxed state, grounding is a natural phenomena. It's effortless. There's no work. It's that most of us, most of the time, are tight and in motion for the next thing instead of being in the present moment, in the here and now. One of the things that I said to you before was that shock sometimes takes our breath away, and then we don't breathe as easily. So we want to make sure we have enough oxygen in our bodies to help us ground. The diaphragm is a muscle that sits right at this level of the body. It goes all the way through front to back. And it's right below the lungs. And if it gets constricted, what's the first thing we do when we're scared or something? You hold your breath a little bit. So we're going to do what's called a diaphragm release to help release that so we can get full oxygenated breath through our body to source us, okay? So we're going to put one hand here on your diaphragm, right? It's right here. You can feel around. There's your rib cage, at the bottom of your rib cage. One hand right there, and then the other hand on top. And you're going to push in and slightly up and hold your breath. Inhale. And then when you're ready, you do this in your own time and space. I'm talking while holding my breath. It's kind of a feat here. You're going to let go. We're going to do that 3 times, okay? That's 1. Inhale, 2. And exhale. And again, inhale, 3. And then exhale. All right. Our next exercise is called breathing. We're going to do abdominal breathing from your belly. An inch below your belly is a certain point there. It's called the triple warm or alarm point, which is just a point where it's kind of a centering point. Let's just call it that. It's kind of a centering point. Put your hand over that little spot there and let's just take a breath in and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. So slow our breath down. And as you're breathing, I want you to tune into your body. Say hello, body. Check in what's there. Notice with your observation if there's tension in your shoulders, if your feet are not planted on the ground. Check in with your emotions. See if you're feeling angry, sad, scared, confused, happy, joyful, whatever it may be. Check in with your thoughts. See if your thoughts are worry thoughts. I'm not enough. I'll never survive this. What will I do about my family? What will I do about my income? You know, all the worries, all the thoughts that could come into your mind. Think about all those thoughts. And this is one of those that you can practice more later. Just be the neutral observer of all those thoughts going by. And now, as you're sitting here, we're going to go into what's called a water rhythm. Water rhythm is one of those rhythms. It's made up of 2 meridians, the kidney meridian and the bladder meridian, make the rhythm and the flow of water rhythm, which is part of traditional Chinese medicine that we utilize in Eden method. And water is about new beginnings. It's winter time, but it carries the emotion of fear. And we're going to do what's called the water rhythm exercise. We're going to have you close your eyes while you're doing your breathing and imagine a blue flame in front of you. And this blue flame is symbolic of the fear that you experience within your world, which is unique to you. And it's at a micro level and it's at a macro level. Right now, the saying that's going around is that we are all in this together is absolutely just perfect wording, because the macrocosm is a reflection of the micro and the micro is a reflection of the macro. So what happens here happens all the way on the other side of the world. So as you clear your fears and you do the work for yourself, just in this little sphere, you are being of service to everyone else. So we're going to see that flame of fear. We see the flame of fear in front of us. And you're going to use your breath with a whoo sound. It's W-H-O-O-O and blow out the flame. So you may hear me, I'm going to do that now. We can all do that together. Whoo. And another breath. And again, blow the candle out of fear. And sometimes it's helpful to rock a little bit. If you want to, you can rock a little bit while doing this. And then from here, we're just going to hold the forehead, which is the prefrontal cortex, and behind the eyes in a water neurovascular hold. And as you're holding this, you can keep holding this. You can put your elbows on a desk in front of you, so you're like this, and it's not so stressful, or you can lay on your side or lay on your back as you're doing this. What we're doing here is we're bringing blood flow to the front brain, the prefrontal cortex. As you may have heard, up to 80% of our blood can leave this part of the brain and go down to the reactive brain. So I want you to start this by just tuning into the fear you have. The fear of the unknown, the fear of not knowing, and just noticing and observing that fear. You may or may not feel some pulsing in your hand that's on your forehead. There's an electromagnetic energy exchange that's going on right here. Your hands are electromagnetic, and it's sending an energy exchange, and it's allowing the blood flow to leave the reactive brain at the lower part of the brainstem and come all the way up to that prefrontal cortex. And now this is something you can do longer later too. You can stay with this longer, but now we'll shift from that fear into the thought and the experience and the knowing. I step forward with courage and have hope for new beginnings. And if you're not quite ready to say it that way, it's possible that I have courage to step. It's possible I have the courage. It's possible that I have the courage to step forward and have hope for new beginnings. Or I am ready to have the courage to step forward and have hope for new beginnings. So wherever you are on that spectrum, you can use those words. And I want to remind you, this is being recorded so you can come back to this and do this more in depth at a later time. So this is a time of patience, trust, and compassion, and calling on us to be kind to ourselves first. It starts within here, and then kind to everyone else around us in cue, that we can be kind to each other, and we send that to each other. We are in a time of literally redefining our boundaries within ourselves and externally on many levels, on the physical level, the mental level, the emotional level, the spiritual level, all the realms that there could possibly be. We're redefining boundaries. In Eden method, we talk about boundaries. One of the ways we talk about boundaries is within our biosphere, our biofield. In Eden method, sometimes we do refer to that as the aura. So some of you may be familiar with the term called aura. Some of you may be familiar with the term called biofield. So the biofield is like the Earth's atmosphere, only it's our little atmosphere. It's around us individually. It's our little energy bubble. And so there's the Earth's atmosphere as well that's needing attention. So this is our energetic skin. It is our first line of defense, where everything could possibly come through and come in. So it makes sense that this is also an essential skill to keep this intact. You know, we have so far that we're keeping our energies open, we're grounding, we are working with our aura. These are all essential skills. So one of the things we're going to do to fortify our aura is we're going to rub our hands together, get the warmth going, place them on your thighs, and do some grounding down into Mother Earth. Now that your feet are nice and open, you spooned your feet, your polarity is balanced, you're ready to go. It's ready to happen. There we are, we're connecting down to Mother Earth. And just bring your hands up to your ears. And this is called the Celtic weave. And I'm sure a lot of you may have tried this already, have known it, but we're doing it again. It's a nice reinforcement. We're gonna inhale and blow it out. So as you grab your aura, bring it in, you're weaving your aura. You're making space. You're bringing it in, weaving it close to your body, and you're also expanding it out. And then you're going to lift that up, bring it around to the back of your body, and you have it all the way around you. And it feels really good. One of the things that I want to say is that we want your aura to extend at least to your fingertips, all the way around, 360 degrees around you, and all the way up and down below you and above you. So the outer layer of your aura is made up of, it's called the Celtic weave actually, the outer layer of your aura. And it consists of many sacred geometric shapes, sacred geometry with triangles, with diamonds, with swirls, you know, with kind of a swirl figure, a figure 8 figure. Those are all to offer us stability. The essential skills are what we can do to build stability. So we're going to do figure 8s all the way around us at that outer edge of our aura, all the way up above and behind. And if you like, you can even add a color here. If you're someone who resonates with color visually, think of a color that, or just trust the color that comes to you right now that might fill that space into. I want you to weave it out here, but also bring it in. The aura, it's meant to be attached to our body as well as be extended out to work best for us. It's our little antenna. All right, so we got the figure 8s going all around us. Great. All right, now what I've experienced, and this is one that I remembered that Donna taught way back at one of her workshops, where if you feel things are imploding in on you, how many of you feel that things are imploding in on you? Raise your hand. Even though we can't see each other, we probably all have our hands raised. And if not, no worries. This will still help. And I have another exercise that may be helpful to you. All right. So here we are. We're going to push. What you're going to do is feel where that compression is. It doesn't mean it's detached from your body, but it means that your biofield is pushing in. It's compressing in. That outer edge is supposed to be out here, it's up here. So you want to bring your hands back to where you can feel that. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and sense in your own system where that is. And you can play with this later. Please, please play with this later. Push out. Just take that, push your aura away. And take a breath. Again, we're back to making space. Energy needs space to move, so we're pushing the aura out. If it feels like it's compressed, and I want you to do that in all directions, all the way around your body, all the way behind you. Push the aura all the way out. Push it down, push it up, and feel. Can you breathe easier? I can breathe easier. That's one that I really needed. I felt like things were pushing in on me, like weights were pushing in on me. And when I did that, it helps me so very much. So see if that works for you. Another experience that some people have is they feel exposed during this time. So I want you to imagine there's a picture window in front of you, and you're going to take, and this is called drawing the curtains for your aura. You're going to grab the curtains on both sides, and you're just going to pull it closed. Like it's just too exposed, too much. It doesn't mean you're disconnected or you're an ostrich in the sand. It just means you're pulling your aura closed and you're making sure that exchange is regulated and you're not overwhelmed. So that's another one for your biosphere, drawing the curtain. All right, so this is a pause button right there. And then we're going to go to the third and last final phase of what I have to say for today. There's another energy system, which is called the triple warmer. Triple warmer is an energy system, it's a radiant circuit, and it's a meridian. Today we are going to focus on it as an energy system and a radiant circuit. Triple warmer as an energy system helps regulate our immune function, and that's what this is all about. We want to stay healthy and strong. It helps us adapt. That's what we're actually needing more than anything right now, is to adapt to circumstances we have never experienced before. We are in evolution, making history together. And our triple warmer as a system is going to help us with that. We are going to adapt. And then beyond the adapting, it also helps us create habits, create new habit fields. How many of you are struggling with starting a new rhythm? I certainly am. I'm finding a new rhythm. I'm working from home, the people that are here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It just goes on, right? So working with that as a radiant circuit. Radiant circuit is an energy of joy, an energy of passion. It moves like kind of like a circuitry. While a meridian flows definitely in a pathway, this is a circuit that restores, gives us a resource. It's kind of like our holding tanks of energy. It's one of the first energies that was ever, when we were conceived, it's the first energies that happen within our bodies. So we're just going to look at triple warmer as a system and as a radiant circuit. So as a system, we're going to start right here in line with the fourth finger. There's a point right here at the wrist crease. The wrist goes this direction, and there's a little dip there. That's called the triple warmer source point. It's a point that taps right into the triple warmer as a system for helping our immune function, for helping us to learn how to adapt, and for helping us to create new habits as we need them so much right now. All you need to do is rub that area, stretch that area, just rub it, figure eight over it, hold it. You can sit around while you're doing whatever you're doing and hold that little spot and know that you're doing good for yourself. You can do the same on the other side. This is called the triple warmer source point, okay? So we've got the triple warmer source point going. We're massaging and rubbing. Oh, and breathing. Making space. Always, always, always making space. So another essential skill. Now the next one we're going to do for triple warmer is a radiant circuit. You're going to place one hand right here below this is what we call your sternum. And right here is the solar plexus. And you can feel your own ribs. It's right there. Just place your hands there. On my back, this is where my kidneys sit from behind, inside of me, obviously. And right on top of my kidneys are a gland called the adrenal gland. And the adrenal glands play a role in producing and creating stress hormones with some other glands within the body. It's kind of a synchronicity. It's not just the gland itself, but it's kind of in combination. So This is putting the hand over the adrenals from the front. We're accessing it from the front. And then we're going to come back to our friendly neurovasculars at the forehead. And this is bringing peace. Let's sit back in our chair, bringing peace to triple warmer as a radiant circuit and as a system. And just breathe, knowing you are safe. Triple warmer plays a role in when it feels calm and taken care of, you can experience the depth of safety amidst instability and the unknown of what's happening day by day. So this is something you can do later on your own. Come back to this video and watch and observe and do it again later. And just rest into that space. All right, so next we are going to go back. We're going to circle back to where we started in the beginning when we were talking about earth rhythm. We started that with grounding with our feet, where we connected to Mother Earth. And I'm going to encourage you, if you can in your climate, walk outside barefoot, lay in the grass, connect with Earth, release your heaviness that way. So we're going to do one more neurovascular hold, and it's the stomach neurovascular hold, and stomach, the Earth neurovascular hold. So it's earth rhythm, and that neurovascular hold is about emotion of worry. And again, these neurovascular holds work by bringing blood flow to the brain and the limbic system, the emotional brain, so that you can process those emotions. Everything is about helping the energy move. So it can be there and not just stuck. We run into problems with our vitality and our health and our immune system and not thriving when we don't keep the energy moving. So all of these processes that we're going through today are about moving your energy, okay? So we're going to start with your thumbs here, right in your cheekbones. That's called a stomach 2 point, stomach meridian, acupressure point 2, right here. And you're going to put your finger pads on your prefrontal cortex, on your forehead. Just a simple word, your forehead, just right on your forehead. You can sit like this, or you can lay on your side or on your back. Be comfortable. So I'm going to sit like this, though, as I speak to you. So as you're here, I want you to just take a moment of silence within and tune into any worry that you may have. Worry about your health, your family's health. Worry about finances. Worry about your work. Worry about Mother Earth herself. Worry about the world, the global nature of all. Whatever it may be. And the other thing that I wanted to say is that sometimes when we go through fast changing events like this, it brings up memories of things that we've experienced in the past that haven't been fully cleared. So you may every once in a while get a little surprise that there's something from, boy, I didn't think about that since I was 5 years old. And if that comes up, that's just what's natural. Allow it to come up, let it to process through, let it move through, meet it with joy, and just see it for what it is. Just be the neutral observer. But that's very natural phenomena. And that things from the past can also surface that were never completed, but this is kind of an opportunity for you to reprocess that. So I'm going to be silent for a little bit and allow that worry to kind of just come through. And you may feel pulsing in your forehead and you may not. Again, please come back to this exercise at a later time and do more with it. And then lastly, we're going to shift this belief to, I trust the mystery of life. And if you're not quite ready for that, I'm open to the possibility of trusting the mystery of life. I'm ready to explore trusting the possibility of life. Whatever feels true for you, we want it to be true and congruent for you. And then you can sit with that for a while. Again, then we're going to bring your hands down to your heart chakra, down to your heart center, right over your heart. Simple and easy, just right to your heart. And I want to say to you all that I thank you so much for being here with us today with the Eden Method Group. So glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that we have the ability to pass these tools on to you. And I wish you the very best, and I want you mostly to know that you're not alone. and come back to this video and all the other videos that we continue to have out there, reaching out to you in the ways that we can right now. And my heart goes out to all of you on the micro level, your communities, and further out to the globe, into the universe and beyond. And if you would like to dive in deeper to any of this work, we are offering a free class called freeclass.edenmethod.com. Once again, I'm going to say that again, freeclass.edenmethod.com. And it has been my true pleasure, really, to be with you all today. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.